Everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat. This will be my Knackers Yard. Slight change from the norm. I've got a vice. It's a little cheap Aldi Lidl one, but it's just too small. So I've kind of upgraded, and what I've gone for is what I could find. So this big bad boy here, I've just picked up off Facebook Marketplace, and I thought I'd tart it up a bit. It's entirely usable as it is. It just looks a bit meh, and let's see if we can scrape a few more years out of it. So first things first, let's get it stripped down. Right, so it's a few days later. Life, holidays, family and stuff. I've just had a go at this and got it all apart. It was effectively, one pin which you bang out from the other side, roll it the other way, there we go, and a pin through that side. There are several good videos on stripping, renovating, etc, etc, and I'll put a link to one of them at the bottom that I've used. I'm not going to do this isn't a renovation video, you're just following me on a do-up. Yeah, manual impact drivers are your friend. If you haven't got one in your garage, they cost a pittance and they are absolute lifesavers. The big, your big rattle guns have their place, but actually for most of us, I would suspect, garage bodgers, these things are just worth their weight in gold. Just make sure you've got JIS heads for them. I've thrown away the non-JIS ones so I don't accidentally use them. Obviously this is flathead, but just as a general hint, they're awesome. They really are awesome. They've saved me bacon several times over. Now I think if I'd have used my rattle gun on that, particularly on a flathead, it would have just destroyed them. And in your face we're trying to drill them out, which ain't fun. Yeah, so I'm going to give this a scrape down, a wire brushing down, chuck it in the sink. I might drop you back in. Well, no, then I'll do some sort of garden sandblasting on it and see what we end up with. Right, I'm not gonna upload every stage of this. This is just a bit of a fuck around on a weekend before I go away again. But this is what I'm dealing with. So under all of this, it's coming off quite nicely actually. But under a lot of it, which you can see. Not bad. I don't know why they've just chucked a load of, there's a few years of crap on it as well, but I don't know when they first started making these, but they're awesome vices. It just needs cleaning up. I could probably get away with just doing that and throwing it all back together. I'm not going to, because I want it to look, it's going to be on screen. It's going to have to look good. I think a lot of that will come off with the blast. But the main reason I got it was because it was dirt cheap, but also, it's got a tiny bend to it, but it's in good nick. That's the one bit I can't do because I'm not good enough to make new ends and new bars and stuff like that. So yeah, right, I'm going to annoy the neighbours and everyone else and get the old compressor going and see how good I can get this stripped down. So this is my hokey garden blasting setup. It's not man enough. It's got rid of a lot of the crap from it, but it's not going to strip it. I mean, a bit of a before and after there, it's a lot better. But I think I am going to have to paint strip it. But I'll carry on doing, get what I can off it. See how we go. Right, and there we go, resplendent in the sun. I did have to get one of my paint fleeces to it on the old angle grinder, just to get the worst off. I'm just gonna, and that'll do. I'm not restoring this. I just want it, usable but not looking like it's rotting in the corner, because it looked bad on screen as much as anything else. And I want it to look a little bit good, so I'm going to get that masked up and we'll get some primer on it. Right, in a brief gap while my neighbour's not mowing his lawn, sponsored by Red Stripe. Great product placement there. I'm not sponsored, but if you want to, please feel free. It's a great afternoon beer. We're getting there. So I am literally using old stock. So I got this when I was doing what Kawasaki, is it 600? I can't remember. Got it offline, trying to match with the tank, and it wasn't even close, and it's not even that close. Kawasaki green, frankly. Ended up going to my local paint supply and getting them to mix it. They did a great job at Bodycraft in Watford. Awesome guys. But I've got that kicking around. That's about a year old. It's not great, there's not a lot of propellant in it, but frankly, you know, I'm throwing colour on something for the sake of throwing colour on it. So I'm going to do a few more of those. I might chuck a bit of lacquer on the top just for an extra bit of strength, and then leave it to dry while I finish my beer. Right, and there we go. Dry but not cured, really. Dry enough to tag together. Change my sponsor. And there we go. I mean, it was functional before. I haven't added any functionality to it. I think I may have added some longevity to it, if nothing else. The guts aren't in yet, because I'm going to have to flip it to do that, and I don't want to automatically trash that new paint on there. I did put some clear on there. It's not perfect, there's a couple of runs kicking around, but frankly it's a vice. I'm not going to be riding around the streets. It was purely and simply just to make it, well, for one, cleaner because it was minging, and for two, just try and make it look a little bit prettier, because it's going to be in the back of the shed, in the back of the knacker's yard, and it can't look too bad. Like I say, the guts have cleaned up quite nicely. Got the original bolts. I've only cleaned off the tops because all you're going to see. The rest of that's going to be stashed away underneath. I don't want to put it on my bench because my bench is going to have to drop when I continue on with the engine once I've got that done and out. Yeah, a little bit of a half vid. Blue's good. One change I have managed to make between holidays. That sounds good, doesn't it? Is where have I put it? There we go. You'll see it at the back there. And I may, if I have put these on my bike before, but if you're interested, I'll bang something up. But I now have front and rear cameras mounted on blue. Little one at the back there, big one at the front. That now comes on automatically when I turn the engine on. I've also, in fact, I'll cut out when I bring you back in, and I'll show you the next bit. And you're back. So I've gone for kind of vlog light, if you like. So I've got an open face box helmet that was a Facebook Marketplace purchase, which I don't like buying helmets from Marketplace, but this was basically brand new. The dirty handprints are mine. Yeah, the guy just didn't like open face. Okay, fine. Oh, it wasn't Marketplace actually, eBay. So £17 off eBay. Now, what I've done with this is I've put in my old Bluetooth set from my old helmet. Now, the reason I got rid of it is because all the foam and everything had gone on the earpieces, and it was getting uncomfortable. Well, this has got little like slits for it, so it cost me nothing. I've chucked it back in. It cost me £17.61, I think, and a 20-minute drive that I was going to do anyway. So what? It's a lot lighter. It's massively lighter. I realise there's no chin protection, etc., but it's so much lighter. It's got the drop-down visor and everything. So this is now going to be basically my commute setup, not my vlogging setup. I'll keep my helmet with my GoPro because the footage on that is amazing and the sound is brilliant. This is okay and passable, so that will be my normal commute helmet. This will be what's keeping me safe and basically recording everything that I do on a bike for insurance purposes, if nothing else. This I'll Bluetooth to my phone and I'll record my audio from there. I don't think I'll do a lot of YouTubing from this setup. That's kind of not what it's for. It's there for me more than anything else, and to capture any brain farts that I'll do. And if I'm going to do a vlog, I'll break into my full helmet rig, etc, etc. Once I've actually worked out if I've got something serious to say. That's all geared up so that it will turn on whenever I turn on the bike, and eventually turn off when I turn off the bike. It's also theoretically rigged so that it will turn on if the bike gets too many shakes or whatever, but you know, it's a cheap Chinese thingy. It doesn't really work. Maybe I'll have to play with the settings a little bit, but you know, Blue is now set up as a commute bike. He's always been set up as a commute bike, and that's what he's for, but this is now my commute rig with a lighter helmet, and particularly when you're looking at, you know, weather like this, for as long as we have it, what a great way to do it. I might at some point give a bit of a road test so you can hear and see, or if you mix those two together, so you can see what it's like. It's a really rudimentary way of doing a vlog site, but acknowledging the fact that GoPro cameras for helmets and helmet mounts, etc, are all rather expensive, or can be. This might be a nice cheap way for you to do it. If I remember, I'll put the link up for the camera. I think it was about 38 quid off eBay. I used my birthday money from my mother. Thanks, Mum. So that's, you know, the bike rigged up, and I don't have to worry about charging my camera or my helmet, etc, etc. The bit that I do need to keep an eye on is how much space there is on that memory card, but I can quite happily just set it on a long loop, so that it will just record over itself and over itself. Cool, that'll do me for another one. I'm going to let that one cure. I'll chuck the guts in. I won't bother uploading that. I'll let that cure for a few hours. And hopefully next time you see it, it will be in pride of place at my vice point. It will probably also encourage me to tidy up some of my shite over there as well, because it tends to be a bit of a dumping area. Right, that will do me for another one. Cheers all, thanks for watching. Next upload I'll get on with this, but you know, just back from a week away with the missus and the kids. I'm shattered. I didn't have it in me to go through the XJ650 today. The advantage of doing this as a hobby, not as a job. Cheers all. I'll catch you later on. Ta-da.